So in the first 2 minutes of conversation, if you can ask generic enough questions, how was your day? What's brought you here? Any of those sort of things, and then hear what they've got to say, listen to those words, watch their eyes flick around. Whack it into ChatGPT to say, please write me a, 100 word script using only visual words. Now write me a 100 word script on how to do all the hearing words and write me a 100 word script on all the feeling words. ChatGPT will have that nailed for you in 10 seconds.
Yeah, and so that would be good in general marketing.
Wouldn't it just?
It just so those posts, even if the same little picture of me, the words being accented differently is going to hit the right person. So somebody will scroll past the feeler is going to scroll past the seeing post because it ain't gonna
Yeah.
resonate
Or you could put all three there if you wanted to.
in one post.
What would it look like, sound like, or feel like if your business was running like clockwork? You'll capture all
Ah,
three. I'll ignore the see and the hear, that I won't even read them, but the feel, capture all three people. And then when you communicate with them, figure out which one of the three they are. You can test it. Put out your marketing with all the visual type stuff for a couple of days, then put out the marketing with all the hear stuff for a bit, then put out the marketing with all the feel stuff for a bit and see which one gets the best response. Or each piece capture all of it. There's nothing wrong with saying, what does it look like, sound like, or feel like to earn more money per week? You've captured
it's a
everyone.
genuine question, isn't it? It doesn't sound contrived.
No, it's a genuine question.
And the punter will just go to the, oh, it would feel amazing because
Yep.
I've asked because I've used the word. Yeah, I love
Yep.
it.
Yep. So Emma would say, oh my God, I can't wait to see that. I would say that would feel amazing. An auditory person will say, tell me about it. It's literally in those keywords that tells you everything you need to know. So you would market to me very differently to how you'd market to Emma.
And that just goes to show, well, when I've said, imagine how would it feel, da da da, and I'm getting
Crickets.
nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Emma would look at you
That,
like, I don't know. I can't even try it on. Doesn't fit.
that isn't going to resonate with Emma at all.
No, no, she doesn't even think you're on the same planet.
Which is funny, isn't it? Because to some degree, I think that would be a really easy assumption to make about osteopaths that we'd be feely.
Mm.
Nope. You
Mm.
happen to use your hands as a tools, but it doesn't mean it's your primary representational system.
Yeah.
I guarantee you do all of your treatments with your eyes open because you rely on your eyes to give you feedback. I don't. I find my eyes distracting. So I glaze and look elsewhere, or I shut my eyes and let my hands do my thing. I don't
I've
shut
heard
my eyes
that.
completely, like for too long, or else I might nap. But I avoid distraction. There's too much input that I don't need from my eyes.
Whereas
I've
I will
heard
literally
cranials say
scan.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard cranials say that they just fix a soft gaze
Yeah.
out the window miles away, like they're not, their eyes aren't in the room at all. And that makes sense now.
Yeah. Emma, have you learnt cranial?
Yeah. I when I'm doing cranial, yes, I'll do a soft gaze for part of it. But if I need to find the place I should be working, I body scan.
Yeah, you've got to look for
I
it.
have to be looking at
Yeah.
the
You've got
bit
to
of them.
physically look for it.
And if I then find it and I'm not working directly, if I'm not moving to directly that point, if I'm actually going to be working on it from another part of the body,
Yeah.
I need to keep it in view for it to be included.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Whereas kinesthetic cranial osteos can't be looking. Soft gaze, stare out the window, let your hands do the job.
I've heard that before, so I just thought that was just a technique for getting into the feely.
No, no. If your eyes are not part of your information acquiring processes, they're a distraction.
And how does that work with auditory then, Kim?
Auditory have to figure out how to trust their hands.
Mm.
Whichever way, the hands are the tools. So any osteopath, the hands are the tools. They've had to learn how to touch. They've had to learn how to palpate. But remember that being kinesthetic doesn't necessarily mean tangible touch. It means feelings as well. So it's emotional feelings as well as physical feelings. So kinesthetic is both sorts. So when you're asking me how would it feel to have £500 more per week, you're not asking me necessarily to tangibly touch £500 in my hand. You're asking me to try on the emotion of how it feels emotionally to have £500. So to me, that is an opportunity, positive feeling, not have I got a wad of cash in my hand. I could be exceptionally literal and think, oh, that feels good. Thank you for the cash. But what you're really asking me is emotionally, how does that feel? That's a try it on type feeling. How does that feel emotionally to have $500 more or £500 more in my clinic per week? That feels safe and secure and prosperous. Not that feels like paper. All right. So osteopaths have learnt how to trust tactile, but that doesn't make them kinesthetic. And osteopaths who are not kinesthetically driven still can trust their hands and be visual and be auditory. It means that an auditory person would pay more attention. They would probably keep conversation going in the clinic room.
Right.
Because that would be more comfortable for them to be able to hear things. Not necessarily, I'm generalizing. But if you pick up on the fact that someone you are selling your programs to are auditory, get out your predicates list, and work out logical sentences to be able to use that predicates list. It's in the early pages of the book. Page 19.
Yeah.
So work out how you would like to use, hear and listen and sound, and are you all ears if I've got a wonderful program where you can hear how good it is, to have your systems work like clockwork, all of that sort of stuff. The auditory is a little bit harder because it's not natural sentences necessarily, but you can figure that out. You just may use hear and listen a lot. I'd love to explain to you how I could help you increase your revenue by £500 per week. Are you open to hear what I've got to say? That sort of thing.
And how does that sound?
How does that sound? That sounds great.
That's how I signed up a big client. I often use that phrase, but obviously sometimes it lands and sometimes it doesn't, and now I know why.
So that phrase can still be there, but instead of it being how does that sound, you've now got how does that look and how does that feel?
Yeah.
As your go-to snippets. How does that sound? Whatever. How does that feel? And to Emma, how does that look? All right.